Hey guys, I just wanted to make a video that I have seen a lot of other people doing, and I thought it'd be a cool idea. It's basically how I found the subculture, and how I have developed over the years in music taste, because the way that I found the subculture is music, and the subculture is also music-based, so I think this video will fit with, just talking about music and how my taste has developed over the years. So before, when I was really little, I never had any kind of music taste. I just didn't really listen to music. I mean, there were a couple things that were handed to me, and I listened to them when I was 7 or 8. Like I remember No Doubt. I listened to No Doubt a lot because my parents had one of their CDs. So I remember listening to No Doubt and Michael Jackson a lot when I was really really young. I'm sure there were other things too, but they were always just things that I heard my parents listening to, and then I ended up listening to them too. But I never really had any kind of music taste until I was 9 or 10. But the first band that I really loved was Green Day, and I found out about them when I was 9. And it was because I had a friend in 4th grade who loved Green Day, and her mom did too, and I went over to her house once and they were listening to American Idiot. And I just loved it. I was like, this is awesome. And I never really, actually listened to them until I was a couple years older, but I just remember that was the first time I heard anything like that. My parents were pretty, a lot stricter when I was younger, of course, because I'm the oldest, and they're more strict with me than any of the other ones. So, most of the stuff I really heard was all, mostly Christian music, so I never really got to hear much. I do remember the first time I ever heard a really heavy metal song was, I think, when I was about 7 or 8, and my dad was driving, and we were in the car, and he was just flipping through channels, and I remember him going on some channel, and it was this really heavy, screaming metal song, and I know it was Psychosocial by Slipknot. I don't even know how I remember that, I just did somehow. But, he was like, oh my gosh, listen to this. This type of music actually exists. Isn't it funny? And I never expected back then that I would be, because I'm a huge Slipknot fan. I mean, I have, this huge poster of Slipknot over there. Best band ever. Well, one of the best. I never knew that I would be so into it as a teenager. So, when I was 10 to when I was 12, I liked pop, and that was all I listened to was pop music, just stuff that was on the radio that everybody else liked. And I think that pretty much every kid goes through that phase. I mean, not everybody, but most kids do. I know my little sister is going through that phase right now. She's 9, and it's super annoying, but it happens to everyone, I believe. So I think when I was 10, 11, all I listened to was what was on the radio pop. I loved Mariah Carey. I loved Akon, and what else? I'm not sure, but I loved all those poppy things of back then. It wasn't that long ago, but yeah. When I was 12, I started listening to alternative music. It was the beginning, and some of the bands that I started listening to my local rock radio station, and some of the bands that I listened to were Green Day, Alter Bridge, Audioslave, 3 Days Grace, and Rage Against the Machine, just to name a few. And I just started listening to those, and I really loved it, and I just started getting addicted to. It was mostly Green Day. Green Day was my inspiration, the punk inspiration that started getting me to want to dress more alternative. I don't really remember. I don't think I really dressed very alternative back then. Because I wasn't really allowed to. My parents were pretty overprotective back then. I mean, it was pretty bad. I don't remember how bad it was, but I was not allowed to paint my nails black until I turned 13. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And I remember I got this bracelet when I was 12 that was fake leather and studded, and my mom like hated it so much, and it's like literally nothing. Like I have to show. I'm going to have to get this. This is the bracelet. This is my first like piece of jewelry that I've ever really liked, and so yeah, this is it. I found it at Target, and I'm just like, this is mine. And she hated it so much. I wore this like almost every day of my life when I was 12. And so when I first got it, she was like, oh my gosh, like freaking out, and she hated it so much. Yet I wore it every day because I loved it so much. And I thought it was so fucking punk. Yeah, those are just, yeah, and then when I was 13, I started, you know, sufficiently delving into alternative music. I would say more metal. And I wore lots of black, and my 3 favorite bands were Avenged Sevenfold, Disturbed, and Black Veil Brides. Those are my 3 favorite bands. Now, I'm not going to talk about those bands individually, but yeah, I really started getting more into metal and just, you know, loving it so much. It was like my saving grace. And then when I was 14, I cut my hair all off short. I had a faux hawk at one point. I think that was when I was like almost 14. Like I think I was still 13 when I did that, but when I was 14 I had really short hair. I loved deathcore. Some of the bands I like were Bring Me the Horizon, Asking Alexandria, and We Buttered the Bread with Butter. That's a mouthful. And I wanted to be a badass so bad. That was like, I wanted to be punk. I loved punk, like the attitude. I mean, not the music. I mean, I love more deathcore, but I just wanted to be a badass so bad. And when I was 15, I shaved the side of my head. And basically all I wore was like ripped jeans and band t-shirts. Basically like what I'm wearing right now, just casual, is what I wore like all the time back then. And I think when I was about halfway through my 15th year, I discovered the subculture. I bleached my hair about halfway, it was almost a year ago. And I think I discovered the subculture before that. I don't exactly remember very clearly because it was so long ago. It was only a year ago, but still. But how I discovered it was, I got these 2 books from my library, and one was called All About Vampires, and the other one was called like All About Zombies. And both books had like music that is like vampire or zombie related. And most of the songs were like goth bands, and I didn't know they were goth then, but I just started, you know, I looked up all the songs on my Spotify or whatever, and like made a playlist of all those songs, and started listening to them. I didn't know they were goth at the time, but then I ran into a YouTube video. I'm not sure exactly if this is how I discovered it, but I think it was. But I ran into a YouTube video on YouTube, and it was Joji Gray's video, and it was an old one, but I thought it was pretty cool. I thought that he looked really awesome, and I was just like, and so I started watching more of his videos, and basically discovered the subculture that way. And then I found more and more YouTubers, and kind of got an idea of what subculture is. And I just got really interested. I thought the subculture was the coolest thing ever. Like, we're in this together. Like, it's kind of like we're family almost. And I really like the idea. And so I found a blog that was basically how I really learned completely what the subculture is, and it is called Stripy Tights and Dark Delights, and I spent like most of my time on that blog because there's just so much information on there about, like, if you want to know like pretty much everything there is to know about subculture, go on that blog, because there's pretty much everything you could think of like on there. And it's on Blogspot. and it's called Stripy Tights and Dark Delights. And it basically it tells you every genre of the subculture, all the subgenres, what type of music they like. You know, pretty much every goth band that you could probably think of. And it's just like everything I could ever ask for. So I spent my time, you know, researching on there, and then I would just listen to music, because it's all, the subculture is based around music, and so you listen to music and you're basically good. So that blog was my saving grace, and basically showed me what subculture is. If I hadn't had that blog, I probably would have had the worst beginnings and, you know, transformation or whatever. I don't know what the word is. Research. The biggest thing that has helped me and still helps me today is, you know, having other goth friends on the internet. I mean, YouTube, like posting videos on YouTube and like watching other people's videos really helps me to learn about what works, what doesn't, what not to say. Like, I've said lots of things that piss other goths off and know not to say them, and what is right, what is wrong about the subculture. Getting very mad at people that think they're better than you. I don't know, I'm not going to go into that right now, but having other, you know, goths to see what they're doing is just the perfect thing. The internet is so good for goths. I bought my first pair of goth shoes, which is a pair of demonias that I bought on eBay for $20, and I realized that was a mistake like a couple months ago. But yeah, eBay is your best friend. So is like Goodwill and thrift shops. Thrift shops and eBay are basically your best friends. And also DIY. I am very bad at DIY because I'm not an artist, and I also am very bad at makeup. Makeup has been another struggle that I am still going through. Makeup is probably the biggest thing for me about goth. One of the biggest. I think clothes and makeup are the biggest thing. I'm not super into hair, but clothes and makeup are the biggest things, and makeup has been a big struggle for me in the past. I decided to shave my eyebrows probably about 2 or 3 months ago, and it was so bad at first, and I was expecting it because it's not easy to just start drawing your eyebrows on, but I think I'm a lot better now. Like, I'm getting better. And yeah, makeup is probably the biggest struggle of all, and yeah, just keep practicing, keep doing it, keep on doing it is my advice for you. Eventually it'll get better, and stay strong. You're gonna get criticism, you're gonna get stupid people being mean, but just stay strong and know that it's your life, and it's about you being happy. That is what gets me through everything. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this video helped and gave you some more information about the subculture and how to get into it.